Hello, my name is Carrie Ward, and I'm going to be talking about play-based learning since the Progressive Era. So in the Progressive Era, play-based learning got its traction because society wanted students who could think for themselves and promote social justice. They wanted students who were not just memorizing facts, but were well-rounded active citizens. These photos show the difference in play-based learning versus the standard that was in place before the Progressive Era. Before the Progressive Era, students were lined in rows, memorized, and wrote to memorize on their chalkboards. After John Dewey introduced this theory and teachers started learning it in the teacher colleges, they began inquiry-based learning and small groups, and teacher facilitation became very popular. This is a timeline since play-based learning got introduced. In the late 1800s is when they started. John Dewey introduced and advocated for experimental child-centered learning. In the 30s through the 50s was the psychological foundations. This is when Piaget became popular and Vygotsky's zone of proximal development. In the 1960s and 1980s is when expansion and institutionalization happened. The theories of constructionism became popular and Head Starts were launched. In the 1900s through the 2000s, more play-based was used and technology began to influence. In the 2010s is when policy and standardization took over in the states and school readiness became an issue. Also, teacher evaluations and things like that became popular. In 2020, 20 through 24, we had COVID-19, and then we realized how important play actually was for emotional resilience. And then today we are calling as educators for alignment. We want a holistic approach where we can do play-based and standardized at the same time. All right, so some key findings again was that play was very important for the resilience of children. It supports their emotional support and coping. And there's a huge discrepancy between school and home when it comes to play, because at school there's not a lot of time for play, and then at home they're often met with a lot of technology that they're on instead of getting to play like much of us did when we were younger. All right, so some systematic challenges is the academic pressures that we have at school. Teacher prep and professional development do not have a lot of play-based methods that are being taught, and a lot of culture and equity problems come into play when play-based learning is done in the classroom, because we don't know a lot about other cultures when we introduce those. So the tensions are, we know the theory and the research shows that it helps students, and cultures show that play-based is what's needed, but our policy, practice, and institutional realities such as schedules make play-based learning difficult. So I wanted to share a little bit about my testimony with play-based learning. I am a second-year assistant principal. I came to the school I'm currently at, and they had a grant for play-based learning through the Gold Standards in Alabama. So this school was given this huge grant. Teachers were given $10,000 to spend in their classroom. They transformed their classrooms into play-based, but their academic goals and state standardized testing dropped. As you see in 2021-22, those are the percentages of proficiency in reading and math. And since I have been at the school at 2022-23, we have taken away play-based learning and our academics have improved. So this goes to show you that yes, play-based learning can be great for social emotional, but it takes away the time that we have in schools for academics. These are some of my favorite John Dewey quotes. Education is not preparation for life. Education is life itself. And we do not learn from experience. We do not learn from experience, we learn from reflecting on experience. And this is what we try to do as our school when it comes to play-based. We try to use it for social-emotional for students who need it, but we also are trying to be academic focused. Thank you for your time.